Welcome to Lesson 1, Understanding Rational Numbers. So what is a rational number? It's a number that can be written in the form of a fraction, m over n, where both m and n are integers, and we have the stipulation that n can't be 0 since we can't divide by 0 in a fraction. So this means that fractions are rational numbers, but decimals are as well if they are terminating, which means they stop, or if they repeat, since decimals in this form can also be written as a fraction. So let's look at some examples here now. So as I mentioned, fractions like 2 over 3, negative fractions like negative 1 over 5, or even improper fractions like negative 9 over 8. These are all rationals because they are fractions that have integers in the numerator and the denominator. A mixed number, like 2 1/3, is a rational as well, because I can change this into an improper fraction by multiplying 2 by 3, which is 6, plus 1, which is 7 over 3. Now, any whole number or integer, like 6, is considered to be rational, since I can write any one of these numbers over 1. So now it's in the form of a fraction where I have an integer in the top and the bottom. As mentioned in the last slide, a terminating decimal, like 1.7, is rational as well. So I can multiply this by 10 over 10 to make this into a fraction, 17 over 10. A repeating decimal, like 0.3 repeating, can also be changed into a fraction. This becomes 1/3. So any decimal that terminates or repeats, you can always change them into fractions. Now another rational number, which may not be obvious that it is, in fact, rational, are perfect squares. Square root of 4 is 2, and then I can put that as a fraction, 2 over 1. But this only works for perfect squares, though. So now that we looked at some rational numbers, let's look at some examples that are not rational. We call them irrational. One of the most common examples of an irrational number is pi. Pi is a decimal that does not stop, and it does not repeat either. So we call that irrational. Square root of 5, that's not a perfect square, so that's considered irrational. And we have a number here in decimal form, 4.6395360 dot dot dot. So the dots means it continues on, and we don't see any repetition of the numbers either. So it's irrational. So we just learned that rationals can be in many different forms. It could be the form of a mixed number, a whole number, an integer, form of a decimal, or even a perfect square root. And irrationals are numbers that cannot be written as a fraction.